follow me so far. My name is AspieAnswersAll, and I am here to talk about basically the mental health disorders that has been coming into my attention and radar right now, that I feel to share awareness and understanding of all these different disorders that we need to be addressing right now, because obviously it's not been talked about or not been shared much of. So, and for further ado, basically at this moment of time I've been covering the basis of under the mental health disorder radar of topics ranging from self-harm, depression, suicide, eating disorders, bipolar, OCD and personality disorder, which I'm hoping to probably do later on in the piece of the mental health disorder versus whatever it may be. So no further ado though, I am hoping to basically now share a few more parts basically on the topic of basically the bipolar disorder, which I forgot to probably add in, which is how to cope with bipolar disorder, which will be ranging from tips and advice hopefully to encourage you all basically to hopefully learn more about your everyday conditions, whatever it is. Just to bear in mind though, before I begin, I'm no doctor, I'm just a normal everyday human being that suffers from certain elements, but I do the best I can to live my life to the fullest, and also hopefully with all what I can do, I can be obviously of help to others as an inspiration or what have you. So, in all of that, let's begin. Learn as much as you can with this bipolar disorder or any other disorders that you may have. Learn it in a way of how it affects you in your day-to-day living, and basically know what triggers them off of your meltdowns versus your highs and lows and whatever else it may be. We've got to remember though, however, not everyone with bipolar disorder is the same or will experience the same symptoms, however. Learn as much as you can about bipolar disorder and all these other conditions that are about right now. Remember to hopefully, when you know what triggers and causes your highs and lows and meltdowns or whatever else the case may be of these conditions and more that I'm sharing with you, that hopefully you'll be able to manage the behaviour accordingly, sort of thing, even though we know you to remember it's not our fault for suffering from this element of depression, bipolar and the like. It's just there for, you know, for a reason maybe, even though, as I shared before, a statistical fact that many people, 1 in 500, I think, bear with me if I've got the facts wrong, if you're following me, that suffers from bipolar disorder or some other disorders that I have been sharing right now. Number 2 is maybe have a family friend or someone that you trust to check in on you now and again, to actually basically do this regularly, find someone to talk to so they can actually know about your feelings, about how you feel, and you know why you're feeling the way you are, so that hopefully that they can be of help to you somehow in a way that they'll be able to just go with the flow with you. It's probably really crucial though when you have someone to check in on you that maybe you know that they're there for the long haul too, even though we know for the best of times there'll be good days and bad days through this, but we know that if we have the right support network, be it our family, friends and whoever it may be, that we'll be able to trust people around us. Anyway, number 3 for this tips and advice is, before doing anything impulsive such as quitting your job, setting your fridge on fire or anything like that, or even moving across the country, check in this with your trusted individual, friend, family member, whoever that you maybe go to talk to for help, or just seek out advice or someone to talk to, because you never know. Sometimes your brain may be telling you the truth though, yet now and again, if you do feel it's the right time to quit your job for a better opportunity, or a right time to quit your job because you feel that you had enough and whatnot, maybe you're right. It's okay to quit your job or what have you if you feel that you've had enough, or even just telling your boss how it is. But all in all, it's all about communication, also feeling right in yourself. But doing so in a whim, making it tomorrow's problem, is not a healthy or responsible way in which to live your life, however. Number 4, remind yourself that the bipolar or being bipolar isn't a sign of weakness or a result of something you did wrong. Your brain is wired differently, and that is okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be basically, weird, wacky, what have you, with these quirks, even though many people may not understand us, but hence, we need to stand out from the others somehow and actually, be someone who we need to be, which is ourselves. 5. Tell others about your bipolar disorder. They may not understand it on how you work or this works, so this creates an awareness and understanding between everyone so that we can remove, like I said before, the stereotyping and stigma about mental health disorders and whatever else. This will also hopefully help people to know how it affects you in your everyday life and living. But you can teach them a little bit at least about your mental illness. Number 6. Admit it when the highs and lows become too high and low. There is no shame in seeking out a therapist or support groups who help you learn new and different things in a way of coping and managing your bipolar disorder. Number 7. Find a support group that specialises in bipolar individuals. You can learn tips and tricks about coping with the mental illness. Develop a support system of people who you can trust and understand you, why you feel the way you do, as well as having a place to check in and really talk about how you are feeling. Obviously, as we know, it's important that we have the right support network for any type of disorders, however, because obviously, when we are down and out, we need to realise that time will tell when we do need that help. 8. Be patient. It may take some time to adjust to the medications you've been given or the medications to work properly in order to get you better, or in time to get you better. As we know that, certain meds may affect us and others, we need to also know like classical signs of, the side effects of what's going on with those meds, making sure that we're taking the right doses and whatnot, as well as just being in check to actually take our tablets or meds or whatever we're taking at the time, so that hopefully our body can kick in to do what it has to do. Even if sometimes we feel that our body isn't adjusting to the meds, we should actually listen to our body more and actually be aware that with these side effects, that even if it is too high for us of a dose, that maybe we need to seek back to the doctor and actually tell them how it is. Okay, number 9 is become involved in your treatment. This is your life. This is your treatment. Advocate for yourself. Be informed, know what the risks and the side effects are, and closely monitor your feelings. As we know, basically, this goes for any disorder, mainly for this tips, but be in mind though, with the one that I'm sharing, that it's your choice how you want to live your life, obviously, when it comes down to it all. Because obviously in this day and age that many people do tend to basically, dismiss how and what they're feeling right now in denial, or just maybe in fear of what people may think, or something along those lines. It could be other reasons too, or even just sometimes some people just make the excuses that they're not the problem, sort of thing, when they're in denial stage of what's going on, really. Number 2, don't be afraid to try new cocktails or medications for your bipolar disorder. What works for some people may not work for you. So what I'm saying here is basically we need to know what works for us, obviously, in a way of, different meds that has been introduced to us in a way so that we can manage our everyday life. Even if, basically this day and age that, some meds may not work for all people. As we know, we don't need a quick fix or quick cure. Sometimes it's just about how we manage our everyday life and how we cope with it, with the right people, with the right attitude and everything else along the way. Number 11, if your current doctor or therapist isn't helping or supporting you, don't hesitate to find another one. It's okay to have a second opinion. It's okay to maybe find someone else that you feel that's safe and secure to actually, talk to when it comes down to any mental health disorder whatsoever, so that we can talk it out, because obviously the doctors are there for a reason, to help us in a way, hopefully, to not make us well, but do make us well in a sense of in our right state of mind and being. Number 12 goes with this one. Be truthful with your doctor, even if it is, embarrassing. We need to be truthful to the doctor as well as to ourselves of what's going on, when we need to know what's going on in our lives, sort of thing. one key thing here of number 14 is, while it may be hard to see the light today, tomorrow is a new day, remember that. Or as I see it, today may have been gone, tomorrow is another day. We need to basically, go our merry way and create what we can in our life. Or another one I have lived on, which I'm going to share my 29 quotes, basically is that, what I've done today may not affect tomorrow, but then again, as I say, tomorrow has no mistakes in it until I basically make them. Even though today did have the mistakes, it's all about, hoping to fix up those mistakes along the way, regardless what it may be. Number 15, take all medications as directed. While there are no miracle cures for all this, we can manage the highs to the highs and the lows to the lows to an extent, so just be patient with the medication. Number 15, know your triggers and how to avoid them. This is an important one, obviously. Many people may think that, they'll blame the situation or blame the actual person for what's triggering them off of their mental health disorder, regardless what it may be. But basically, we need to know that there is maybe some environmental factors that can come in our way of everyday living when it comes down to having these highs and lows. And also, basically, we need to be aware that, with the ones that are trying to help, mean well to try and help, regardless. Sometimes it's also important to avoid these, triggers of what's causing them, so that we can actually live our life to the fullest, and also just obviously think, okay, this didn't work for me, so I'll do it in another way for another time. Number 20, build structure into your life and make sure you're making healthy and responsible choices about taking care of yourself. This is important, obviously, that maybe some of us may need routine in our everyday life with our mental health disorders or just anything in general, so that, like I said in one of my videos, with me, routine is important for me, because if I don't, it's just turns to custards now and again. So I need an everyday structure. I am now trying to break free from some parts of my routine and structure of certain things, little by little. Obviously, I can't, take myself off completely, but everyone was wired differently, as I said, and how we work in ourselves may work for some and may not work for others. Most importantly, this one is, for the next tip, is taking care of yourself. Know what you love to do and stuff. Maybe find some everyday activities that you love to do. Maybe take time out, even if you do end up, maybe, I don't know, we could say, like, if we've been on the computer for too long, gaming, even though I know it's hard for some gamers to break this habit or addiction or whatever, but then again, maybe find time out of other activities that we enjoy, be it outdoor activities, so that we don't cram our style when it comes down to, basically gaming and whatever else it may be. Number 21, keep our stresses to a minimum wherever possible. Learn to meditate or relax and build some leisure time into our everyday routine. I feel that this one's a real important one, because obviously, as we know, that we need to look after ourselves and our well-being and whatever else. We need to basically maybe find time out for ourselves. And again, even though, like I said in one of my previous videos, if you've been watching from the very beginning, when it comes down to me for socialising, I do find it difficult to try and socialise with a lot of group of people, because my social energy tank runs on empty pretty darn quick and exhausts me. But I do push myself to the limits, even though I need to know my limitations or my limits on what I can do and can't do. It goes for anyone else for that matter, knowing their limits. And that basically, we need to hopefully know when is the time to step back and let go of certain things that we can't control. Because obviously, as I said, with certain mental health disorders, many of them find that they have to be in control of everything, be it whatever it may be, their depression, OCD and the like. But then again, some things we can't control, sort of thing, and that's what I'm trying to learn right now. Some things I can't control of what's going on, even though, many people may disagree with me on this one. Number 22, I think what I'm up to, if you're counting out loud while I'm doing these tips and advice, is many people with bipolar disorder, or any other mental health disorders for that matter, may self-medicate with other substances, basically, such as alcohol or illegal drugs, in order to cope with extreme moods. I know this is an unusual pattern of behaviour for them to do this, but this is their way of coping, pretty much, and what they use. But then again, bear in mind with this that they do need to seek help, outside the family circle. We can't always be the one that has to be, like I shared with you a lot about basically those 5 roles with people that are basically in their day of living, of being the scapegoat, being the protector, being the liar, or what have you, or whatever else I used in those 5 roles for this, pretty much, to the point that, of no return. Last but not, the last 2 are, if you have bipolar disorder and are self-medicating, which this will go with the one I've just mentioned above, use this time to, however, maybe admit that yes, there is a problem, or this is the time maybe when you do have your relapse, while you're self-medicating in a form of a way of helping yourself, basically, to maybe check yourself into a rehab centre or hospital or something, so you can best manage your disorders while you are sober. Because obviously this is important, because as we know that certain mental health disorders, as well as every other day circumstances of basically using the drugs and alcohol, we relapse over and over again, basically, and it's just a matter of picking ourselves up and hopefully get going again. And hopefully it will take time, however, for this to actually happen, and to actually have the right frame of attitude and thinking along the way. Last but not least, as many as 1 in 5 adults, which this is actually a fact, or to share with you, or we'll start again, as many as 1 in every 5 adults who have this bipolar disorder complete suicide, or contemplates about suicide or self-harm, just to the point that no one to end their life. Do not make yourself a statistic. Basically, this is a shameful fact, as I said before, basically with the bipolar disorder series, that basically, with the manic depression versus, all these other symptoms and signs that we go through of it all, that basically, it's all about, controlling these demons of our thoughts, basically, because most of the time with people with bipolar disorder, they struggle with fighting with their thoughts. This also goes for people that are, depressive enough, just to the point that they want to go for the let go, and basically that, it's a sad reality, but it's how it works, obviously, with these disorders of some parts. But everything starts with choice and in the mind of certain things, I've learned now. Basically, also, it's also about communicating how we feel, hopefully that maybe someone will listen to us in a way. So, and all further ado, before I end this video, to the ones that are watching, thanks for your support and encouragement along the way. Basically, without you, I wouldn't be maybe doing these videos of what I feel on my heart to share, because these are important to me, of the mental health awareness, as well as all these other topics that will be addressed later on. Also, feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, basically, because hopefully I'll be doing this weekly if my time will allow me on my schedule. Also, share the videos with family and friends, because as I said, some of these videos that I'm sharing right now, be it mental health disorders or these other everyday topics I've shared in the past, right now, and also hopefully presently, might be of someone, for someone as well, I should say, because obviously, you never know, we should be the ones to hopefully be making that first step to actually help and be that person in their circle. We shouldn't be judging people or assuming that everyone is okay. We need to know the signs, obviously, of what's going down with all these mental health disorders and the like, of what I'm sharing with you all. Also, feel free to comment below, basically, of anything I may have missed in one of the theories, basically, or just, something that maybe, while suffering from bipolar disorder or any other disorders that I've shared so far, maybe that you can share your story, or just share something funny or something, just to shed the light, so that I know you're engaging. Like, also for support also as well, because this obviously will show that you guys are engaging whatnot with me. Well, we're collecting in a way, hopefully, to spread out awareness and everything else that I hope to aim for. Do what you love what you do, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, basically. And once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Ciao for now.